What time is it? Is it time to get a watch?
Electric chair.
So I was having the occasional existential crisis this week. Wondering how I'm spending my time, what time it is, if I'm doing everything correctly according to the prescribed schedule. But I was like, you know what? Let me just find a random topic to talk about.
Let's go.
So that's what we're going to talk about: time, how you're spending it, and what it is actually. You unlock this door with the key of chronology. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of technos, a dimension of paradoxes, a dimension of being your own grandfather. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of chronons and causality. You've just crossed over into the world. Now, can you talk more about that? I wouldn't be surprised if you never saw me again. What? So basically, I was scrolling the internet and I found out about this new theory called the Chronon Theory.
Wait. What was that?
No, it's not a work job theory about Crohn's disease, I guess. But this theory basically posits that time is not continuous, it's discontinuous. Now, do you know what that means? Discontinuous. No, it doesn't mean that the continuity is being in a diss track. No, discontinuous means that the continuity is not continuous. I know, very in-depth explanation.
Ew, this is so cringe. Guilty.
Basically, the Chronon Theory posits that time is actually discrete. Meaning, instead of it being one long, continuous flow like a river or semen, it's more along the lines of time slots, Like imagine a movie. A movie is actually just a series of moving pictures.
Okay.
So time in this case is not a continuous thing like a flow of river. It's more of like a movie. So it's quantized in very small packets that are discrete and it flows like that.
You ate that.
And yes, throughout this whole video, I will be making various time-related puns.
Oh Lord.
Do you know what time it is? It's time to get a watch. So we can probably measure this discontinuous. And in these trying times, we need to find out if we are spending the right amount of time on our endeavors.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell
I will emphasize that the Chronon Theory doesn't mean the time is like made out of particles.
Disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined.
No, it's like, can you imagine dividing space up into like different three-dimensional cells and then calling those particles? No, it's not the same thing, you know what I mean? So just think of it as a movie that is cut up into a bunch of pictures. So that's what time is. This is what this theory posits what time is. I'm not saying it's the end all and be all of the truth, but what I'm saying is this could be what time is.
She's got a point.
Was the explanation in-depth enough for you?
I mean, it's all right. Like,
About what the Chronon Theory is?
Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now.
Really?
I think it was. But you know what they say? Time is just a flat circle.
No one says that, but yes.
What would you do if you could rewind time? Like, just rewind time slowly. Would you rewind time fast? Like Back to the Future? To the future, he came back. On someone else's back, he came into the future. So now that we got that out of the way, below, what was that? Wait, let me check if the video is still rolling. So in the description below, I will post very in-depth articles that explain the mathematics.
Thank you so much. Very, very nice.
Quantization and the physics behind this Chronon time theory. But so far, I'm just gonna insert the formula here for all you nerds out there that wanna delve deep, but are lazy to delve deep into the intricacies of time. And yeah, I don't know why I was so interested in this theory. It seemed cool to me. Like, usually we think of time as a river, and this theory basically says no, it's not a river, it's more like a film, and that I found cool. The consequences of this theory means instead. For example, let's say a hypothetical species
I don't like where this is going.
was able to manipulate this time theory, if you know what I mean. There could be a Chronon strobe effect. That means like, let's say if I wave my hand like this, you know what I mean? If they were able to slow it down, that means you would see my hand in like discrete little images instead of like one continuous flow. Basically, it's like a time lapse, but instead of each time lapse, it's like it's cut up. You know what I mean? Like usually movies have that effect when the guy is like slowing down and then he's like, yeah. It could also mean that each one of us could have personal time zones. That is, time varies between each of us and it's relative.
Perfect.
Like the time might depend on where each of us are in, where each of us are in space.
Stop it. Get some help.
So that's another consequence of this Chronon time theory. And I will have to emphasize again, chronons are not particles, nor are they any aliens that are gonna probe you. I just had to put that out there because there are some of you out there that think the only thing in science fiction is probing. Go outside and touch grass and embrace the photons that have traveled across time and space to grace you with their presence and to be able to help you create vitamin D. I mean, there are other ways to get vitamin D.
I don't like where this is going.
But this is the best. And sometimes if these aliens wanna jack up the timeline really quickly, they could also, you know, just cut it up one way and then paste it somewhere else. Like, you know how when you're editing you cut up the timeline and then paste it in the beginning. So then let's say I throw my apple up, cuts, and then in the next frame it, you know, drops down and then it's somewhere else. So that could be the real world consequence if let's say a hypothetical super race were to be able to manipulate this whole Chronon time theory thing. So yeah, like let's say this. You see what I'm doing here? You see? Oh yeah. I'm gonna edit it and then cut it and then show you what I mean when it comes to real life quantum skips. There could also be existence delays whereby reality just freezes for a moment and then life just feels like one long, I don't know, wink. Like everyone and everything could like periodically freeze and then in the next moment restart. So like delayed, you know what I mean? And another weird one could be like conversations with a time echo. So for example, let's say I say something and then there might be like an echo from what I said previously that reverberates back.
Suspicious. That's weird.
You know what I mean? In the discrete section between the two time frames. You see what I mean? So this is what the consequences of the Chronon time theory could be. Now I'm like wondering if I pause one of these frames and then there could also be a quantum event cascade. So basically this is when reality like just becomes a series of unfortunate events, as an event in one time frame causes the next time frame to be even more chaotic, and then it just keeps getting worse and worse. So for example, I think this basically is like the butterfly effect, but in a more like quantumly chaotic way. So weird things could happen, quantum winking, conversations that are like in slow motion and everything like that. So this is the Chronon time theory. So if you enjoyed this little quick video I made about the Chronon time theory, like, subscribe and share, and see you in the next timeline or the next time frame. You know what I mean? Ooh, time Chronon. Ooh. Should I start making puns about time? I was gonna make a joke about daylight savings time, but we wouldn't have the time to do that. Oh my god. Yeah. If someone were to go out and buy milk, will they come? No, that's boring. There could be other shenanigans in the Chronon time theory. For example, you could be your own grandfather, or your own great-grand-uncle, or your first cousin once removed.
You cannot be for real. Oh my god, you for real.
Do you want to be your own first cousin once removed? No, you don't want to be your own first cousin once removed. No one wants to be their own first cousin once removed. This could also have unintended consequences on the general theory of relativity, but I am not smart enough to deal with that whole mess. I'm just presenting you this theory in an infotainment type of manner, and if you guys want more details, like I said earlier, you can find it in the description below.
Oh Lord.
If I had the time, what would you do? What skills would you try to improve? Would you try to make your life better or worse? Because it's very dangerous to think about the concept of having all the time in the world when you have none at all. I was gonna make this video even longer, but then I didn't have the time.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
So by this point in the video, I guess you guys will stop watching the video.
No ma'am. No ma'am. No ma'am.
When I saw my best friend yesterday, I clocked she wasn't happy. So I asked her if she had the time to talk about it. Ew. There is tea in this bottle, and I just want you guys to know that if you need someone to talk to, we can always clock that tea.
Don't ever fix your lips to say that, bro.
I'm gonna be crucified for this. In the spirit of talking about time, my grandfather once took me out to a hunting trip where he mysteriously dropped his hourglass. I had to tell him that his clock was missing. Get it? Grandfather clock. Wait, you must cherish the time you have, because if you don't, no, that's not gonna work. Time to give up, flops.
Girl.
She couldn't pull it off. She didn't have the time.
Homosexuals. Damn homosexuals.
He told me as I was walking down the street yesterday that he didn't have the time. So I told him he must stop and watch what he's doing.
This bitch.
Now I'm just listing random time hands. Yeah. If I had conversations with the time, would the echo be able to locate my stamp which I had lost in due time? I am not funny. Don't quit your day job, am I right? Or your daylight savings job. Time hand.
What was that?
You guys know these are funny. I was checking my calendar, but I'm afraid it was not a Californian Enderman, which is a series of time skips between the different frames in Minecraft.
Academy Award.